So our feature poet, first and foremost, I just want to say, she has just kind of landed in the spoken word community and just been really genuinely supportive of so many people. I'm continuously seeing her at open mic nights, at gigs, and not always when she's on the open mic actually. Often she'll go just to support. What I didn't realise as I've been watching this wonderful woman kind of appear more and more on my timeline is that her pen stays busy. She's been on BBC Radio. She's quite new to headlining, but something tells me that we're lucky to have her this early on. She's just putting together her debut album. I'm expecting it to be absolute fire. She looks phenomenal. Please give it up for the wonderful, the talented Rhian Brooke.
Hi, I'm Rhian Brooke, and I am a poet. I have to say it like that because deep down I still don't quite know it. Riddled with doubt and insecure fear, I smile and through gritted teeth I announce, it's so lovely to be here. As my saturated palms try to comfort each other, I'm performing these lines whilst wanting my mother. You're all looking at me and then at each other, and I'm thinking, I can stop this poem, I do have another, but really I just want to run and take cover. But I love it, I really do. And the Valium's kicked in. I now need the loo.
Woman, you are immaculate, just silver-plated in fraud, a man-made crust caked on umbilical cord, golloping artificial mantras until saturated in loathing we swell, daughters pleading for us to quell laws written about our bodies by gaggles of men who confuse walking in our shoes with sliding in our DMs. Patriarchal creations, the uneven playing fields and the wars between nations, those nuclear chodes, penises cocked and ready. Poked he goes, the slightest of knocks and the world is unsteady. But woman, don't worry your pretty little head with the descent of man. Yes, we know you have a far more intelligent plan. But for now, just smile, make eye contact, dress nice, be chatty and agree with his view. But not so much he might want to fuck you, because what was the poor guy supposed to do? Unfortunately, his actions are all down to you. The onus on male violence needs to be shifted back to men. So for all those who've been victim blamed, I'll say it again. Woman, you are immaculate. Just silver-plated and fraud, and of this game we're all playing, you're right to be bored, for we're not to be toyed with, and I hope the next gen will be done with playing Barbie in a world made for Ken. So let's break the bias, for if not now, when? Woman, 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 woman.
Yeah, I know the drill, sweetheart.
Yeah, I know the drill, sweetheart.
Lovely, welcome back, lovely to see you. Who's never been to a Poets Palace before? Give me a... I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
The two main ethoses of Poets Palace are one, to create paid opportunities for up-and-coming talent, and the second is to bring poetry, performance poetry, spoken word, any kind of poetry into the mainstream. A lot of these poets won't have performed
very much at all, if at all. This might be, for some of them, this might be the first time performing. So we want you to we want them to be able to feel your support, and we're all in this together.
Lonely people gathered, worship numbers, worship money, bow to the gods of exponential growth, embody the goddess of destruction. And from this building, they summoned toxic fumes from the underworld, called in floods and fires and famine, and sent them to lands far away, made sacrifices on burning piles of coal, ensured chaos arrived and had chariot of fire. And from this building, they slashed open the belly of the earth, black blood spilt forth. They reached their hands into soft, warm darkness, and from the stinking innards pulled out private jets and second homes.
I can see some of you wondering with puzzled squints, has she dunked her whole head in bleach? Did some terrible shock cause that grey and white tint? Yes, it's unusual, different, a sight that is rare. You're donning your shades to deal with the glare. It's awkward for all of us when you're having to stare, so it's only right and it's only fair to invite you to gather, so pull up a chair. If you're ready and comfortable, put your hand in the air. If you'd like me to explain it, shout out, fuck yeah! Then it's time for me to talk about my hair. It's 100% au naturel, and yes, I grew it myself. For years I would dye it with home kits I bought off the shelf. Desperate to hide any signs of aging, petrified that the world might find out that I was old enough to remember paging, and the only filler I'd heard of was grout. But why did I feel there was only beauty to be found in youth? That's what we as a society are fed, right? So it must be the truth. Scared to hear, yo grandma, get off the stage, you don't understand us at your age. But the wonderful thing about younger people in time is I've been your age, but you ain't been mine. See, I've learnt the lessons fought and scraped till I've won. I might be silver, but I'm second to none. This salt and pepper sprinkling makes me a seasoned pro, finding silver linings in my silver hairline, a worldly wise halo. I haven't just got the t-shirt, I ripped it off my bloodied back, refashioned the threads and flossed with them after I ate it as a snack. And at the tip of every glistening strand, in the skin sag streams upon my hands, lies a glimpse of wisdom. There is inner peace beneath every crease, a confidence that must be lived in before it can be real. So I refuse to feel the shame that is rammed down our cream-soaked necks as we hoist and yank at our natural breasts. Covering, disguising, not recognizing the power in an older version. The perversion in such aversion to our natural state. This berated hate driving us all to reversion. That threatened patriarchal sneak, whispering that we are now weak and no longer desirable as we reach our salacious sexual peak. Ripe like a peach, yet what we teach is for us to be written off, hung out to dry, a husk in the dusk of our lifetime. Fed lines about these lines, each one a remnant of a belly laugh, a heartbreaker scream through top of lung, all the places I've explored, the million love songs that I've sung. So now I celebrate the crows who trample round my eyes. My crooked back will tell you all the secrets of the skies and the legends of the sea. So fuck society, telling me I must inject, stretch and contour my way to being free. No longer cast asunder, I now revel in my wonder, for we are thunder and I am the storm. So no, I won't conform, and I implore you to adore you just as you are meant to be, but there is value in your history. I now don't hide behind dyed, I take pride in having seen more sets of the sun. And to all you youngsters, don't feel denied or green-eyed, for you've got it all to come. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Rhian Brooke!
And at least have the decency to get her anatomy right. You see, her vagina is mainly out of sight. So to impress and really indulge her, make sure you know that that part you're admiring is actually her vulva. Scribbled scraps of paper placemats act as halos to the condiments, a modern-day nativity scene. Jesus is a cocktail sausage wrapped in bacon blankets. So innocent. I push him to the side. I can't eat him now. He'll go to the dog later. Our saviour, swallowed whole. Small talker from face to face, scraping away the facades, peering into psyches, desperate to find a tiny mischievous imp under one of their skins, peddling mayhem and inviting me to dip under the flap of a cheek like a tent door. Come play. Something to resonate with. A flash of muddied mirror, a secret atom-sized glitter ball in the bloodstream of an aunt. Can't. All I find is grey. Blank, blink, blanket bombed, boring, yawning, yearning, learning, nothing. I place my knife on my plate like a drawbridge for the peas. Run, my beauty, save yourselves! My left hand grips my fork, pointed index, mind your manners, elbows off, nodding, nodding, nodding. I don't agree, nor understand. Suddenly, without warning, my right index and middle fingers plunge into a pot of putty Play-Doh slime. The squelch silences the mundane chatter, moist, slip and slide. I penetrate the goo with such ferocity that it queefs again and again and again, each plunge plunging the table into deeper, aghast hush. Deeper, deeper, deep is uncomfortable when all you know is shallow.
I remember being asked at primary school to write a poem about Christmas. I wrote about a homeless man and how it must feel to be surrounded by guzzling festive consumers. I was 8. He didn't. My model of a house was thrown in the bin by my teacher in front of my eyes because it was different to everybody else's. I was 5, and I knew even then that I would never conform, even if that made me cry. Over the years, the world has moulded me into an angular, contorted version of myself. That's the thing, you see. We're all individual. We're all the same in that way. Inimitable, just like everybody else. My distinct fingerprints are carved onto my father's hands. My smile borrowed from my grandfather, now he no longer has use for it. Maybe I will pass it on to my sister's children like a baton in a never-ending relay. The shape of my body is my mother's, and I cradle myself to still the noise, finding comfort in a nurturing embrace that I've lacked for so long.
The masses unearth their spooky clothes and like wolves hunt out a party. Yes, in their pack, all dressed in black, horns stuck on with blue tack, they track down the haunts of the glitterati. Tipsy, tanked up, ass like a rat, needed Dutch courage to leave their flat because their face paint makes them look like a twat, and they knew their shit was coming to that, but were just waiting to do something arty. Becky's been sick and isn't ready leaving. It was the sight of so much blood with her being vegan. She called Dracula a heathen whilst heathen, dressed as Morticia, now looking more like Kevin Keegan.
Cocooned in the safety of my past, marooned, wrapped in soon-to-be shattered glass. For if I stay here, I will wither, and these magnificent wings they've helped to nurture will never be released, never seen. My true potential shining pristine, yet hidden deep beneath the earth, with the longest longings of rebirth. Must I quash my truth, my worth? Am I right, or am I wrong? Maybe just left where I don't belong. I need to stretch long and expand. I have the whole world in my hand, but for me to gain that prize, I must prise open my fingers. Guilt and cowardice lingers like the smoke from last night's bonfire, and I've always been a pacifier. But the stench of future regret is too putrid for me not to beget some form of change. My inevitable transformation, this gestation, will eventually come to a climatic cessation. And what then? Will I rise resplendent, leaving my shell to rot? Because can I live with that upshot? Will my sky dancing be futile if it leaves all else so fragile? And I don't know whether I'm a millennial or a Gen Xer, because I was born on the cusp, so I'm teetering between delusional narcissist and incompetent texter. Stopped wearing cardigans and shirts because it's no longer ironic, and although I can't speak for the men, I've got a new name for women of my age. They're lacking in collagen. Oh yeah,
That supplemented powder elixir goes on everything I consume. I'm tipping the jar straight into my mouth and then I'm licking the spoon. When I'm at work, I'll do a bump at my desk, down it hung over on the tube. I snort it in club toilets and then whip it into a paste for lube. But it doesn't completely eradicate all these strange new ripples, or that I am now at significant risk of tripping over my nipples. My jams sag and calluses harden. I now have a garden.
And I was far from ordinary. I just needed it pointing out to me what was under my nose, clear for all to see. Because it was always there for me to find every time that I signed my name, you see. Because finding poetry made me find poetry.
Cradled by his reserved upholstered throne at table 11 by the red paint-chipped door, he purveys his perverted kith and kin, his whoring horde, dirtying his domain. As his gaze navigates through the track-suited swarm, he shoots bullet glances, each one met with recoiling, shifting eyes to the floor, ricocheting and repellent. A raucous clamour of rebellious conformists struggling with their worth, disguising their all-consuming, suffocating disappointment with shallow jibes and derogatory spittle. Churlish mouths gurgling languid language, Darrell despises them all.
I rest my elbows on a dining table too big for the room. Downsizing has made it feel powerful. I wink at a sparrow pecking clover. I know you, I whisper. You don't, it replies. Ignorance blushes my cheeks and I avert my gaze embarrassed. I'm far too brazen for this sparrow. His pecks become tuts. I know nothing.
Media propaganda instilling fear for more control. Burning refugee camps ignites dejection in my soul. Pumping cash into the arms trade like a Gatling gun, whilst the arts are shot and gasping, left shriveled hemorrhaging in the sun. Rioting is the only means for people to be heard. Why must we have to go to lengths so absurd? Crying and excited they amassed. Crying and excited, tear-gassed. I'm aware my poetic rhetoric seems a little plethoric. This apraxic syntactic may sound didactic, but I'm so awake. I even know I'm one of the preachy left elite. Maybe I should just admit defeat. But I'm going to try to make a change with these aching feet, because when you start marching forward, there's no chance of retreat. Being woke makes me tired, but now I can't sleep.
So although my poetic technique is eclectic, I may seem unhinged and a little bit hectic. I know when I write, my poems are slick. I just wish performing them didn't make me feel sick. And I'm usually a pretty confident chick, but up here my nervous cough is affecting my tick and the shock of being on stage is anaphylactic. They say, doing things that scare you should do the trick, so here I am, giving my ass a good kick. And you know what? I'm nearing the end and I didn't blow it, so maybe after all I really do know it. I'm Rhian Brooke, and I am about to shit myself, so I'm off.